have passed this message to the Hill Marathon group, okay, to the team, and they are going to help you, I believe. So uh, instead of DM me, it's better to ping in the group. We have a WhatsApp group, so please ping in that if you need the recording. Okay, so I think we can start it from already, like we have 10 people, so that's fine. We can start it. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so first session was about the roadmap, right? Then yesterday session we discussed about the Spring Core. That means how the Spring Core works, like Spring, how in means in internally how the Spring container gets loaded, and what is IOC means how Spring container creates the object for us, and for creating the object, what we were giving, what we were doing for creating the object, we were writing the bin definition in a file, or we were annotating, right? We were annotating one of the file as configuration, and then inside that we were annotating few method as bin for the bin definition, so that the Spring container was able to identify means how to create the bin, right? Have you and has anybody gone through that? The dependency injection. There was a open question yesterday, isn't it? What was that? Can anybody respond to me?
Ma'am,
What are the
different types
yes,
of dependency injection, getter setter injection, constructor injection, and field injection.
very good, Vishal. I think you are very sincere. So please keep it up. And which dependency injection is good actually? Which dependency injection is better?
Field injection.
Field injection. That is what we actually were doing. Okay. Constructor injection is the most preferable one, but field injection is also means good. Okay. Okay. So whatever we discussed yesterday, I am still like giving less priority to it. Okay. But from today onwards, it is going to be super critical. So please have patience and try to listen what all thing I'm showing here, or what all thing I'm going to do here. Okay, so that if time permits, either you do that today night or tomorrow morning. Means you should complete the work on that day itself, or immediately in the next day. That is going to help you. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
uh, just trying to get the okay, I'll share my screen. I think my screen is not yet shared, right? Yeah, it is not yet
Oh,
shared.
yes.
Okay, so from today onwards, we are going to discuss on the very, very important module of Spring Boot, that is the REST service module. Why this REST service module is used? This REST service module is used for the REST services. Okay, for the REST services. Can anybody tell me what is web service? Spring Boot REST service module we are going to use. REST service is the first point actually. First, it is the initial point. Initial means entrance, you can say, to enter into the Spring Boot. And Spring Boot is widely used for the REST service module. What is what I said, the REST service module, why we are using for making the web service. Now my question is, what is web service?
No idea, ma'am.
Okay, see, suppose you have a website, okay? You have a website where I'm just trying to take few of your names, okay? And go back to the here. Suppose Pradeep, Minu, Vishal, Anmol, okay? You few people are very much serious about your day-to-day activity. Means whenever you are getting up in the morning, you need to plan your day very means in a very organized way. Okay, and you are making your to-do list in the morning. Okay, so Pradeep is opening the website and adding all the activity like whatever he has planned for the day. Similarly, Minu, Vishal, Anmol, each of you are doing that. Okay, so means first uh, doing some of your personal responsibility, then after to that going to office, then going to bank or doing some shopping, something you people are adding in your day list or attending some event like that, you are attending your to-do list. Okay, so whenever you are like adding this data to the website, this data definitely it is getting saved in the database, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So that whenever in the middle of the day or whenever at any point of your day, when you are just trying to recall, okay, is there anything left or what should I do next, so what you are doing, you are just retrieving your to-do list from the website and then you are means again planning for the rest of the day, like that you are doing. That is how this website is helping you. Now every time you cannot open this website in your laptop, isn't it? You want it in your fingertip, that is in your mobile application, right? So client will give you the
Yes,
requirement.
yes.
No, this to-do list means you have created a website where this to-do list getting appeared in your website. But client is saying that no, my use means this kind of application has got a lot of popularity in the market, and now I want this data to be also at my fingertip. I want a mobile application to develop. Okay, so is it a good way for you that see when you created the website, your data was registered where? It is registered in the database, isn't it? When you made
Mm,
this website, you have a web layer means some HTML page, some to make it attractive, you have added some style, everything, right? And the backend is your business layer and data layer is accessing the data, giving to the business layer, and business layer is giving this data to the web layer where data was getting populated and you are able to see. Okay, and whenever similarly we are adding the data in the web layer, that means the HTML page, data was and you when you click the submit button, data was coming to the business layer, data was getting processed, it is getting passed to the data layer, and data layer again it was pushing it to the database. That means this website is capable enough to pull the data from database or push the data from the web layer to database, like that, isn't it? Now you want a web application, mobile application also for this. So is it a good way that you will make a jar, means for this business layer, data layer, everything, you will make a jar and give it to the mobile app? Is it a just some jar file you will create and it will you will give it to your means some other application, some other mobile application? That is not a feasible way, right? That is not possible. There might be some .NET application or Python application or some JavaScript application also want to use your service. That means the to do service whatever you are providing. Are you getting what I'm
yes,
trying
ma'am.
to say you? So see, this is the conventional way of doing things. You were pushing your data means the whole day activity, what you want to do, you were putting it in the website. This is web layer. Website is your web layer, HTML page. Then that data was getting passed to business layer. Then that data was getting passed to the data layer. Then that data was getting pushed to the database. Similarly, when you are trying to retrieve the data, when you want to see the data, again in the web layer, what you are doing, you are logging and you are pulling your activity. Okay, what all activity as a user I should do today. So again you were clicking some button and that action was pulling the data from here. So submit button you are using here to push the data or pull the data. But now I want some other application also to use the same service, whatever I have written here, like business layer, data layer, it should be reused. Okay, so what I should do, I should come up with a REST service. Okay, so what, this is the Java application. See, this is some other application. Python application, it could be a Python application, it could be a JavaScript application, or it could be some .NET application, it could be anything, right? Or it could be some mobile application, that is the Android based application or iOS based application, it could be anything. Okay, now the data layer, the business layer, everything what I was showing, I will just deploy it as a service, that is called to do service. Okay, now this to do service, if it, I will not give any jar, means the jar giving, just handling the jar is not possible by Python or by mobile application. They will not deal with that. What they can do, they can access this service. Other app will access the service. Okay, they should, other app will just communicate with your service and you will pass the data to them. Okay, so what is web service? Web service is a service, it is a it is a software system. It is a software system, or it is a software which you have designed to support the interoperable machine to machine interaction over a network. That means your service is designed in such a way that it can communicate with any application, it can interact with any application in a platform independent manner. Okay, it should be interoperable. Your service, you are providing your software as a service. That is the SaaS model. Web service is what? Web service is software as a service, SaaS. Okay, you must have heard this terminology, right? SaaS, software as a service, platform as a service, PaaS, SaaS, all these things you must have heard before. If not, then just remember what is SaaS. SaaS. What is SaaS? SaaS is software as a service. Okay, and here your to-do service.
Then what is the difference between web service and API? API also same.
Web service and API all are same. Okay, it is all same. It is all software. We have designed the software as a service so that any application deployed in anywhere in the world, in any environment, in any platform, they can communicate with your service and get the response, proper response. Okay. Now today we will do the API. Okay, today we will write the API. Now here, for writing the API, certain thing we need to know. Okay, we need to know certain thing, how we can make our web service platform independent. That is very important. See here, this is our web service, the to-do service, this one. Okay, now here consumer one, let's assume consumer one is a Python application. This to-do service you might have written in some language, X language, Y language, some C+ language, some Java language, some language you have written. Okay, in our case we will write it in the Spring Boot. That means Java way. Okay, the Spring Boot is the most widely used technology for writing the web service. Why? Because Spring Boot has lot of capability. It has the highest capability among all the technology. You can plug in, you can if your world is emerging to AI, then Spring Boot is also has emerged to AI. Means it is far ahead than any other technology. That's why everyone is preferring to write the web service in Spring Boot. Okay. Now you see here, this to do service is a web service. Now this is getting accessed by what? Consumer one is also communicating with this to do service, and this mobile application is also communicating with the service. How this communication has to happen? This communication, for this communication means there is a request and there is a response, exchange of request and response between the service and between the consumer. This request response should be either in the XML format or it should be in the JSON format. Okay. XML or JSON is the most widely format. XML is like this, right? How the XML looks like? It is looking like this, right?
Written between the two tags.
Yes.
Opening.
Between this, since there is a parent node, child node, like that. Okay. It is between the this greater than and less than symbol. Between that, the tag is, this is one tag, get course detail request course one, like that. And this is the JSON format. So just I'm writing in the notepad like how XML and how uh, your JSON looks like. Suppose to do service class to do service, then user. Suppose menu class menu, this is the user, or user, like this, user class user, username class username, some information about the user, menu, like this, and date for today, date is equal to, suppose day. Today day is 29/04/2026. Like this, the date is closed. And what all thing to be done here? Similarly, one more date, yesterday also, 28. So what all thing to do? Activity one, like this, going to bank, something. Getting my point? So this is how the JSON XML data looks like, right? If same data, if you are changing it to JSON, then how it will be looking like? It will be in the curly braces, right? Like this, to do service, colon, will be inside this braces. Inside this user, all key value pair, like this. And inside this again, username, colon, value, meaning, then date, day, colon.
Yeah, we can write in
Like
array
this.
also in JSON object.
See, I'm just trying to tell you that how JSON looks like. Okay,
Yes, yes.
you don't need to design the JSON automatically. It is very easy. Okay, in the when we will design, now we will design the API, right? So it will be very easy. So the only thing what I'm trying to tell you is that like your service and your consumer, how they are exchanging the data either in the XML format or
Or just
JSON format. Okay, then we will go to the next slide. Okay, see, just this SOAP web service and REST web service, I'm trying to tell you because in early days it was SOAP web service. Okay, so in real time, if you will go, there will be some legacy system where they are using SOAP system, SOAP web service. Okay, when those system which has not yet migrated, everyone is have been I am now migrated to REST services. Mostly 70% service must be REST web service. But in our old days, like when we were like in our early time of the career, during that time, most of the there was no REST concept. Okay, there was no REST concept at all. There was SOAP web service. So SOAP web service, just you means try to means just I just want you to like you should get heard of this term. Okay, so SOAP web service which is in the SOAP XML format. SOAP XML format. So just have a look actually on the SOAP XML format how it was looking like before. But nowadays, if you will see now, this REST web service, you can just realize that how much life has become easier. Previous day, it was in SOAP XML format. Can you see this kind of it is in XML only, but it looks very means heavy actually. You can see that lot of things. So previously it was like this, but REST service, now we will design the web service in REST way, and you can realize means life has become lot of easy approach we have. The Spring Boot has made our life very simple, okay, and lot of complexity we could get rid of this because of this REST service. Okay, so now I will not take you to the other slides. I'll just take you means how to create the web service, REST web service. Then I will take you to the slide so that uh, it will be more effective. Okay, yesterday I have told you about one tool actually to use for creating the scratch version of your web, of your Spring project. What is that tool? Can anyone tell me? Come on, be fast. There was a web tool we were using to create the project. What was that?
Spring initializer, I think.
Spring.io,
Spring initializer.
Spring.io
Who
start.
answered?
Uh,
Who answered this?
Me,
Who answered this?
me. Misal,
Uh, Come again. Vishal.
yes, actually, Spring Start.io. Yes.
Yes, yes. Good, good. Very good. Actually, you should be very, very familiar with this name, okay? Because this is a savior actually. This start.spring.io. It makes your life very simple. Okay, so now I'm going to create a REST service. So how this REST web service we will create? I'm telling you. Okay, first what we will do, we will create for our project build tool is Maven. Okay, I yesterday we discussed on Maven. Even one of you has answered that what is Maven. Maven is to download all the dependency for us, to download all the jar file for us,
Jar
right? So
files.
Maven. And the Spring Boot version we are using 4.0.6. Then the project metadata group, I have said that in the Maven means in the ecosystem, group is a identifier, unique identifier. Your project name is also a identifier. Okay, so in your company, right? Suppose you are working in a company XYZ. So in your company XYZ, under your group should be com.xyz. Okay, that is your ecosystem. Under that, which project you are working on? So suppose I am creating a REST web service for the skill marathon. So what I am going to do? I'll give skill marathon as my group, and here actually some REST services I'm creating. So this is my group. This is my ecosystem. Under this, my project is REST hyphen wave hyphen service or something, some name I will give. My project name is REST hyphen wave hyphen service. Okay, and this is the package name. It has already taken, means from the group and artifact. Now packaging is jar. Okay, the Java version is 17 and configuration is property. I'll tell you what is this configuration later. Now configuration is my property. Now I'll say generate. So this got downloaded. I just copy this and I'm going to put it here in my workspace. I'll extract this. Try to observe each and every step. Oh, sorry. I did a mistake. I have to go back. My bad. I have to go back. Let me remove this one. Actually, I was supposed to download few more dependency as well. So that I forgot. Okay, again I'm going to Spring Initializer. See here, I have given project Maven, Spring Boot, all those configuration I have chosen here, right? What here I will do for REST web service, I need Spring Web. You can see here Spring Web. What I did, I click this add dependency button. I need Spring Web. Okay. So what is Spring Web doing? Build web, including RESTful application using Spring MVC. And it uses Apache Tomcat as default embedded container. So I am using Spring Web. Okay. Spring Web jar I need. Spring Web dependency I need because I need to develop a REST API, REST services, REST service. So that's the reason I have chosen the dependency as Spring Web. Then one more dependency also I will choose. I need to also connect to database. So what I will do? I will choose Spring Data JPA. What Spring Data JPA will do? It will persist the data in SQL Store. SQL Store is your database. Okay, it will persist the data in the database using Java Persistence API using Spring Data and Hibernate. All these jar it will use. Spring Data JPA is a master jar which is internally using all these jar. Java Persistence API, Spring Data, Hibernate, all these jar it used. So I need this dependency, Spring Data JPA. Okay, then what else I need? I also need I don't have a MySQL database. Means I need some time actually to install MySQL database. So what I will do? I will try to develop one API where data will be stored in the memory, in-memory database. So for in-memory database, I will choose S2 database. See here, this S2 database provide a fast in-memory database that supports JDBC API and R2 DBC access with a small footprint. Means what S2 database is what? It is a memory database. So in future I am going to use S2 database. So that's why I have chosen this S2 database dependency. So till now what all dependency I have chosen? I have chosen Spring Web dependency. I have chosen Spring Data JPA dependency. Spring Web dependency. Why? Because I need to develop the REST API. Spring Data JPA, why I used? Because I need to store my data in the database. In which database I will store? In S2 database. So that's why S2 database jar also I installed. Then which all thing I need also a dev tool. Why Spring Boot dev tool I need? Because I need my application to restart live reload. Means this is for fastest development. Okay, Spring Boot dev tool is one of the dependency. If I will install this in my project, then suppose in case I have changed something in one of the class, okay, in the runtime I have done some changes, okay, some I realize that one of my class need to be changed. If I have done that change, I don't need to do that restart. Okay, Spring Boot will dev tool will do that for me. So this will make my life easier. Developer means it is a developer tool. It will help you. It will help you to restart all these things. It will do for you. Okay, so that this is also I need. So these all these dependency I have added. Now I will say generate.
Ma'am, we can also download it from the Maven repository.
We can also download from the Maven repository, but why we will search in
No,
Maven
no,
repository?
I just asked, is there any option
Yes,
to the?
yes. See, ultimately, all these, see, what all dependency I need, I have added here.
Yes.
Okay, this dependency will get added in the Maven tool, that is pom.xml,
Mm-hmm.
and pom.xml will automatically download that for us,
Download
right?
from.
So I have told that this version I need 4.0.6. I need this version for Spring Boot. So all these will get registered in the Maven pom.xml, and pom.xml will do that for us. Why we will go to Maven and we will
Adding
choose the
that.
version, choosing version. All these thing is very means difficult task, very time consuming task. I was getting tired before Maven. Before means at that time we were using Ant tool. Okay, some means initially we were using Ant tool. Maven when it came into picture, Gradle when it came into picture, our life has become very simple. Developer life has become very simple. Maven does everything for us. We just need to give the version name. That's all.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now I did generate, right? So what I will do?
Hi, Usha.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So, Usha, could you please help me to clarify that package name? Is it coming by default? Can you go back?
Yes, it will come
Yeah,
by
this
default.
group artifact and package name, is it coming by default? Or what exact are those?
Which one? Which one you told me?
This project metadata.
Project metadata. Okay, let me go to here. Here, project metadata, it comes by default, but you should change it. You should change it. Even if you are not changing, that not a issue. But see, my company is Skill Marathon. So I will give means I have to create my own ecosystem as per my company, right? If you are working in Infosys, you give in Infosys. If you are working in Apple, give Apple. If you are working in XYZ, for your company has n number of project under it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your group should be, this group is nothing but your company ecosystem.
Okay.
Okay. I am giving a unique identifier to it.
Okay. And
See,
what about
every
artifact?
user, every similar, as like every user has a unique identifier. Every city, if I am putting city in a database, so then city will have city ID. Employee has an employee ID, right? Each project has a artifact, that is artifact ID. Some unique name I have to give. And here is similarly, this group is some unique identifier you should give, which should be as per your company name. So I had given Skill Marathon. Okay, it comes by default, but you can change it according to your preference.
Yeah, okay.
Understood?
Thank you.
I
Yes.
will, no problem. So let me show you the project actually. Here I have already copied, so just I think I'm supposed to paste it. Okay, now let me extract this. I think you must have taken a note of what all jar I have, what all dependency I have added there. Have you taken that
Yes,
note?
yes, ma'am.
So whoever has not taken, just take a note right away. One is Spring Wave. Second one is Spring Data JPA. Third one is H2. Just type H2 console. It will come. Then next is DevTool. Okay. Now see this project I have extracted. What I will do, I'll open it here. Open. And then go to your project folder, your workspace. And this is the project I have just created, right? So select that folder and give some time to NetBeans to set this Maven project. Okay. Will just resolve the Maven dependency. It will take its time. So just give some moment to it. Okay, so in the meantime, while it is doing its setting, I'll just take you to the slides. Okay, so here you can see what is our goal. Our goal is to build the REST API, right? Now this can we build the REST API without Spring Boot? Yes, we can build the REST API without Spring Boot. Python has also means providing some way. .NET is also providing some way. Every language, every technology, they have their own way for making the REST API. But what is the
PHP
need
also
for?
making the
Yes, everything, PHP, everything. But what is the need for Spring Boot? The need for Spring Boot is that Spring Boot actually is it has a very large community. They have provided a lot of tools for us. Okay, lot of supports like Spring Boot. You can plug in Spring Boot with any other third party. Okay, if I want Spring Boot to, if I want my service to integrate with some AI tool, I can do that. If I want my service to deploy in cloud, I can do that. Spring has Spring Cloud for it. If my REST API to be smart enough, I can. Spring has provided Spring AI. Okay, if I want my service to be multi-threaded, I want my service to be asynchronous. It should communicate with some other service with Kafka or some message servicing framework. Spring has Spring Kafka module. Okay, if I want my data to keep it, my API should keep the data in some cache. Then Spring Boot has that ability to integrate with the some cache layer. Okay, so Spring Boot has every kind of capability. So that is why Spring Boot is the most means popular for framework, because your REST API way smarter than other framework. Okay, that is why we prefer the Spring. Got it? And apart from that, this REST API, how to build a great REST API? How can we do that? We have to first identify, means what should be our URL. Okay, this first point you don't need to worry about now. We will discuss it later. But we have different type of REST API. We have GET API, we have POST API, we have PUT API, we have DELETE API. Suppose I want to retrieve the data, means my website, my consumer want to know what Bibhu or what Minu or what Vishal, what kind of to-do list they have created for them. I want to retrieve that data. Then what should be my action? My REST API should be GET. Okay, suppose Vishal want to create the data, I mean some to-do data for today he want to create. So what should be the REST API for him? It should be POST. Suppose uh, suppose someone of you that want to like change the to-do data, means you have already created the to-do list, but in between you remember something and you want to edit it. You want to edit your data. Then what should be the REST API? It should be put. Suppose you want to delete it. Today's to-do list, you don't want to keep it in the database, so delete it. So this kind of action you need to perform. And how it is to be performed, that I am going to tell you now. I hope my IntelliJ is done with its work. Let's see. Yes. See here, I'm taking you to the pom.xml first. So in pom.xml, let's verify all the all the dependencies added or not. I was interested for web MVC web, right? For REST API, for making REST API, I was in need of web MVC. It is there, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
See, it is
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
I need Spring Data API. It is also there. I need DevTool. It is also there. I need what else? I was in need of S2 database, S2 console. It is also there. S2 database is also there. Whatever I was supposed to get, I have everything in my pom.xml. So pom.xml will do its job. It must have done its job. By the time the IntelliJ was setting the project, that time only it must have created. It must have downloaded all the jar here in the local system. It must have brought all it to the local system. I think here it is.
M2 deposit.
Yeah, in the .m2 folder, it must have created users. See, right. This is the default location. Users in the .m2 folder, the repository. Are you seeing? So many jars have been installed here. See? So many jars are there, isn't it? Spring Framework, see? Spring Bean, Spring AOP, Spring Web MVC. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So by the time pom.xml has done everything for us. Okay. Now coming to our source folder, this is how a Maven project looks like. See here. This is my starting point, REST Web Service application. This is my starting point. It is annotated with what? Spring Boot application. It is annotated with Spring Boot application. What is the Spring Boot application? The Spring Boot application, actually, this is, if you click that, you see that this has 3 annotation extra. Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration, components. All these 3 annotation has been merged and it has become Spring Boot application. What it is means, what the meaning of it? The meaning is, yes, Spring Boot auto configuration means, yesterday I had shown you, right? Configuration, @configuration. That means if you are, this is your starting point. This file is configuring everything. Means this is getting marked as a configuration file. Okay, this is getting marked as a configuration file. This is the configuration file. And it is enabling the auto configuration, means whatever bean it's supposed to need, it's supposed to install automatically, everything will be auto configured. Means here in the class path, it has seen all these. In the external dependency, it has seen all these, right? All these web MVC it has seen. It has seen data JPA. It has seen all these this dev tool it saw, and then means auto configuration is adding a capability to configure everything, whatever jar it see in the class path. Okay, it will just add those. It will just create the bin for you. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. Then component scans. Component scan also we can see here. Component scan means what? Here, this is component scan. Component scan means this package will be scanned. Inside this package, if there is some other sub packages are also present, and if some bean is marked as bean, if some of the bean you might have marked it as bean, so it will create it for you, or some of the bean you have marked it as REST controller. Okay, it will mark it for you, that you can understand. So Spring Boot application, just take a note that Spring Boot application means Spring Boot at annotation. Spring Boot annotation is nothing but @Spring Boot configuration, @Spring Boot component scan, and enable auto configuration. So this is the capability, means this Spring Boot, this single annotation is giving these three capability. One capability is to configure the bean, this as the starting point, or this as the configuration. Okay, REST web service application, this class, it is marking it as a configuration class. Then it is enabling the auto configuration, means whatever jar it is finding in its class path, it is creating that bean. Okay, then component scan means it is scanning this package for other beans. Okay, so these three capabilities are getting automatically. Got it? Now
Yes.
what I will do, I am going to create a Java class here. Just let me give the Java class name as hello world. Okay, but I want this Java class to be my REST controller. Okay, REST controller means what? This is my REST API. If I want some class to be to serve as a web service, I should mark it as a REST controller. Okay, and then I want this method, say hello. This method should be marked as a REST service. So what I will do, this I will return a string here, public string, and I'll return string. Return, say hello, or hi, hello world, hello world. Now this is my web service. My class, just I have annotated it as a REST controller. How REST controller class can be identified? Because this REST web service application, it has been marked as Spring Boot application, means this is the entry point. So there is a component scan. Inside this, there is a component scan. This is scanning. So automatically hello world class will be scanned as a REST controller. And that means REST API. This is a REST API. It means Spring container, our Spring, yesterday we read about Spring container. Spring container, the IOC engine, it must have understood that this class has APIs. Now this method, how can we mark this method as a REST API? What I will do, request mapping. I can do request mapping, then request method is equal to method. My method should be get. Okay, method, because I want to just retrieve some data. Request method dot get. Request method dot get. Okay, and what should be my path? My path should be, suppose, hello, just hello. Okay, now let's start our service. How I will do that? I'll just go to REST web service application. I'll start it. Let's run this file. A lot of magics are happening. Spring container is getting instantiated. See, the server, Tomcat server got installed, means got started. Here you can see lot of thing happened. How it has Tomcat started, right? So since you have the Spring Wave, right? You have installed Spring Wave jar. So inside that Tomcat server is there. So it has started, it started the Tomcat server at 80804, 80804 port. You can see that. Okay, see in the enable auto configuration is there. Spring Spring Boot application. I told you that Spring Boot application, this annotation is giving the capability to auto configure. Enable auto configure means you see this JPA repository. So many things are happening. Means so many beans are getting created. That will see dev tool. Everything got, means the jars are getting created automatically. Dev tool processor, all these beans, web server, Tomcat web server, everything got created automatically. Okay, so this is your power of the Spring Boot application annotation. It is enabling the auto configuration. Component scan it is doing so that your REST controller also got scanned. Then Spring Boot auto configuration, Spring Boot configuration marked it as a configuration file. Now we will access our service. Okay, what we will do here? What I will do? HTTP. Your web service is working over
800, 800.
8080. Hello world. What we have given? Hello. Okay, we have given hello. So it is giving us hello world. So this is your fast web service you have developed, and this is the request mapping is this one. But we don't need all these request mapping method. All these thing is not needed. It has been very much simplified for you. That is just right here get mapping. Get mapping. Remove this one. Just have the method. I think DevTool is there. So whatever change I have done must have been identified automatically. So let me just reload. Hello world coming. Okay. So this is your first means REST API you have developed. Now, second thing what I want to do, I don't want to return just a string message. I want to return it as a JSON message. What should I do? Let me return a object that should convert to JSON. Public hello world. Let hello world. Say hello bean. This class is not there. Hello, okay, hello world bean. Hello world bean. Okay. And this hello world bean is not there. I should have named it as hello world controller. That is the proper naming convention. Name it as hello world controller. Okay. Now hello world bean is not there, so I will create it. Create the class hello world bean. Where I want to create? I want to create under REST web service under the bean package. So under this one more bean sub package I want to create. Under this hello bean package, hello world bean is created, right? Now I want to return hello world bean. Hello world bean I want to return. My message is hello world from the bean, from the Java object or bean. Java object is only your bean, right? So, but this constructor is not there. So I will say that you insert for me, insert new. No action has been taken. I want the Eclipse create a constructor. So it created a constructor for me. So string dot message this dot message or message
Yeah, where you have to create the message variable.
yes. And I want everything to be done by the tool itself. Okay. Here. So we now ultimately what we are having now, we are having a bin, a Java object, right? This
Yes.
Java object is having message as a private instance variable. This private instance variable, how I am passing value? I am passing
Using
value to
constructor.
the constructor. Okay. In hello world constructor, what I am doing? I am just here I am return new hello world bin. Okay. Now I need to map it. Okay. So what I need to do for mapping, I have to provide the method should be annotated as with the mapping, get mapping. It is a get call. It is a get call. Because see, whenever you want to retrieve some information, remember if your API is trying to get the information, then your API should be which call? It should be a get call.
Get to.
Okay, if your API is trying to add the data, create some data in the database, your API should be post call.
Post.
Okay, if your API is meant for deleting some data, your API should be delete call.
Right.
Okay, and if your API is for
Editing.
editing
Updating.
the data, then it should be put call. Okay, now here path I cannot give, here path is already there. We cannot confuse the means Spring Engine, right? Spring Engine, the moment, see the moment as soon as you give slash, okay, the slash hello, it will go to this. It knows that your Spring Engine, already your Spring Engine has been instantiated. It knows that I have a the REST web application. Here you have component scan, right? Spring Boot application is nothing but component scan. I have shown you. So it is scanning every time, it is scanning. And here, as soon as you have given slash hello here, it has been scanned and it has kept all the information. For slash hello, it has kept the information that this say hello method is the responsible one. This REST controller, annotating REST controller means it knows that it contains all the API method. Okay. So your Spring Engine will do what? It will create a REST API, when this object it will create and it will pass this, means it will invoke this method. Okay. Now, two method cannot be mapped to hello, isn't it? One of them has to be changed. I have to make it hello world bin, hello bin. Okay. I've changed it. Let's see if my dev tool has done the work for me. No, I have to sometime this dev tool work like a ghost. So let me stop it and start it. It should have at least like identified. Sometimes it takes time, so I don't want to. Already the class got exceeded, so I just want to finish it here. So I have to manually restart. Otherwise, DevTools should reload automatically. As soon as I do some change in my class, it should have been reloaded. It should have been, means restarted the Tomcat server. Anyway, now you see hello bin. Okay, empty thing. I did a mistake here. What I have to do in hello world message, just do what? Generate. You should have setter injection. Should generate. Just a minute, leave the chat. I hope till here you people are clear, right? No, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
At least, guys, please pass some message. Okay, so what I will do, I'll create a getter getter, setter, everything I'll create here. Okay. Then what at one toString method also you should do, because Spring is internally it uses all of them. So whenever you are passing some object from the API, right, you should have the getter, setter, and this toString method. Try to have it. Now let me try my luck. DevTool has restarted for me.
Java object class has the toString method, na? Then why you need to override that?
No, it has default toString method. See, this toString method has been overridden.
Yes.
Has been overridden. Okay.
But Java object class has already toString
It
method.
has toString method. That is the default one.
Okay.
If I will go with the see, it has an annotated with override. So if I will write hello world bean.toString, then this is the message I will get. This one I will get. You will see it now. You will see it now. Okay. Otherwise, it will just give some numerical presentation. If you will click, if you will try to just try to do system.out.println and some object .toString you do, it will just give some numerical presentation of your object. Some number it will print. I don't want that. I want this to be typed.
Okay. So that's why I need to override that toString.
Exactly. Okay, I'm starting it. DevTool is actually not helping me much. So I had to restart. So that whatever change I have done, that should be reflected now. See here, message, it has come in a format of key value pair, right? Message, colon, hello world from the Java object or key. So what is the path I have given? Hello bean. Right? The request has gone to first means to the REST controller. This hello world means first the request goes to whom? Spring container. Spring container will give this request to dispatcher servlet. Means that I will tomorrow show you how it has gone. So dispatcher servlet will do what? It will check which controller actually comes into picture. It will see that okay, hello world controller is annotated with REST controller. That means it must have some API. So it will check this path is present here. Yes, this path is present here. Then which method is responsible for this path? This method is present. Okay, this method is returning what? It is returning one object. Hello world bean. It is this bean it is pending. So here this bean has what? This bean has a message as its instance variable to which we are setting a value. This message we are passing this value. So this value got set as message. The whole object got changed to JSON format. Spring Framework has done that magic for us. Spring Framework by default, Spring Framework change the object into JSON format always. Okay.
Ma'am, but where we call the getter method?
Internally it uses all this.
Okay.
Internally this is just a means syntax actually. Whenever your API is returning some object, right? When API is returning some object, and you have set some value, right? Getter, setter method. Sometime it may use constructor injection. Sometime it may use getter, setter injection, right? So that's why, and toString also you should have. That is why that is how it when this object is changing to JSON object, right? It is a JSON object because it is not a Java object. Is it a Java object? No. It is a JSON data. So when it is changing the JSON data, all these get set methods are getting used internally. That is why when your API returns some data, you should have the getter setter method. And along with the toString method override it. So you don't need to write the code, just you depend on your IntelliJ, your IDE will do for you. Okay.
But how it is called all the getter method when the output is being reproduced? I think when we call the getter method, no? Where it is getting called?
Internally, it has been called. See, This magic you are not seeing. Internally it is happening. Internally, as a consumer, what you did? Internally, you are a Python application. Okay, this is a service I am running in my machine. This Hello World controller is a service running in my machine. What I did, I have just exposed this service. One of my method as a service. This method I have exposed it as a service.
Service.
So what I did, I said that my method is a get type so that you could access it from the URL. And my path is this one. I just exposed my service through some path. This is my service. I expose this service through this path. Okay. And
Yes,
to Spring, I said that this method is inside this controller. I just annotated it with the REST controller. Now, this is my Spring Boot application. Now, my Spring Boot application understood that this is my controller. And this controller has this path. So now my entire, this method is now, it is on internet.
Okay.
If I have written some class, now see in your machine you have written some method which is doing some magic. You have written some jar file, some Java class you have written which is changing your PDF to PPT.
Yes.
Okay. Now that PDF to PPT, that method, how you will expose to the outside world? You have to annotate it like this. You have to give some method mapping, some get mapping or post mapping, some mapping you will give. You will expose that expose that service in some path, and then that in whichever class you have written that magic method, you will just mark that class as a REST controller.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yes.
just create a web application, put that class inside that, and then just start that web Spring Boot application. Then everything means everybody, whoever is going to access your machine, they can access your service also. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So everything is this all magic is done by
REST controller
Spring Boot.
tag.
It is just a wrapper for us. Okay, it is just a wrapper for us. Being a developer, what you should be aware of, you should be aware of how to write a REST service, how I can expose my service to to the outside world. Means you should focus on business logic. This is my business logic. As a developer, I am
Yes,
just
ma'am.
focusing on
No,
my
no,
web logic.
no, no.
I
I just want to understand the internal structure, how it is doing
No,
internally.
that Spring Core yesterday, that's why I just gave some idea to you guys that how Spring container is creating the object, how those things are happening. So I told you that Spring Boot application at the rate Spring Boot application is doing all the magic. Spring Boot and application means it has three annotation. This single annotation internally, if you go, then just click this and you can see three annotation together here.
Yes.
Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration components. Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration components. That means Spring Engine, everything. The Spring it will start the Tomcat. It will whatever class it is whatever jar it is seeing in the class path. It will create the bin. It will configure everything automatically. Okay, it will scan all the packages. It will get to know that okay, which is my REST controller or REST services, in which all classes I can expect my REST services to be present. Then all the mapping it will take from there. All the magic is happening internally. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's all for today. So I hope you people will do enough practice for tomorrow. Okay.
Sir.
So please come with a good preparation and then we can have a lot of questions and then some good discussion and some further complexity I will add here. The same service we will carry on further and some complexity will add one by one and we will keep on using one by one other modules. Okay. Okay, guys. So
Thank
for
you.
today it is enough. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks all. Bye bye.